back into the Sean podcast. Oh, number 2 this week. Number 2. Sean, what's your thoughts on number 2?
Number 2. 2's a good number.
2
is a really good number.
2 gets me like all by myself. Just saying. Not getting into it. Not getting into it. That's private. But it gets me all by myself.
It should. You don't want company with
that. Anyways, enough shenanigans. Let's get to the episode. This one is we're back on summer scouting. We're gonna do tight ends, and then we're gonna do offensive tackles. So
yes,
let's start with the tight ends, and we're gonna go with the top 5s. We're gonna go a little quicker because it's crunch time. We got 2 weeks till college football starts. We can't be melee and messing around here.
We got to pick it now. I mean, let's be honest. We got through the sexy positions, right? We got through quarterback. We got through running back, wide receiver. Those are the ones that we need a lot of details behind. But, we're getting to the other positions. Not that they don't matter, but you're not going to hear as much of these guys. I mean, a couple of you will, and we're going to talk about them. But, we're not going to have as many notes for you. But it's not that we don't like them. We've got a lot to talk about.
This is true. But without further ado, Sean, who is your number 5 tight end?
Number 5 tight end for the Cat Daddy is going to be Charlie Kohler from Iowa State. He's been gaining NFL interest over the past couple of years, and I was a little bit surprised that he opted to return to Iowa State this past season for his final season. And I'm thinking,
well, maybe he'll be able to improve his stock.
Yeah, he might be able to. If he would have come out last year, he definitely would have been a day 2 prospect. And I think that's going to be the ceiling for him this year, too. He's a good inline receiving option. He can be productive from the slot. What may hurt him, though, is he's not as athletic as the other tight ends that at least I'm going to be talking about today. And he's not as good of a run blocker. So the other guys are going to have more potential. But
all right, so just to disclose mine, my number 5 guy is also Charlie Kohler.
You're
Iowa State.
Yeah.
Hey, things happen. And I agree for the most part with you. Call him copying you if you want, but unfortunately, I think he's limited. He's going to be your solid number 2 tight end. I don't see him being a starter in the league. I see him being a great second tight end, which is useful. You need those guys, but I don't see him really being a starter in the league per se. Now, note, he's got to learn to block. You can't be that second tight end without knowing how to block because you're not putting him out wide. So, something's going to have to happen here.
Yeah, I agree with that. To give you good second tight ends, you got to learn how to block because you're thinking 2 tight ends. Unless you're Newton back in the day, throwing both tight ends, you got to block.
It just, like you said, the athleticism's there. So, do you want to take this guy on as a project to make him like a true tight end, or do you want to bring him on as a second guy, maybe try to teach him how to block a little bit better because he does have good size, and have him be that guy who catches maybe like 20 to 30 balls a year.
But enough about Charlie Kohler. Let's move on to our number 4 guy who I'm a little bit more excited about.
All right.
And I've got Trey McBride from Colorado State. He looked like a monster last year's short season. I just want to see it consistently over a full schedule. He's an athletic tight end. He has great ability to create mismatches, especially when you're going against the linebackers, the slower ones. He looks impressive when he has the ball in his hands. Where I need to see him improve is game separation. And just like Kohler, I need to see a little bit more run blocking. He's going to be full-time pros.
He doesn't have as much, let's say, interest in blocking as he should. Let's be honest. I mean, his technique is kind of poor with it. Now, note, very nice athleticism. Now, why am I talking about him right now? Because he's also my number 4 guy. So,
Ooh.
I mean, we're lining right up right now. Don't worry, baby people. It's going to change a little bit later. You know, maybe not as much with the tight ends, but and some of the players later, you'll see some differences. It's gonna get fun.
Yes, it will.
But yeah, with Trey McBride again, very athletic. I could see this guy being a low end tight end one. He does have a pathway to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got more potential to be a starter in the league than Charlie Fuller does right now.
He does. It's that athleticism. Teams do value athleticism, and he does show it. Now, on to your number 3 guy.
Number 3 guy is going to be Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina. Now, he doesn't possess the same size as the other tight ends on this list. He's a little bit on the smaller side for a tight end, which means his role at the next level may be more of that big slot or a pure receiving threat. He's got some sneaky big playability, though. If he gets the ball in his hands, he can do great things with it. He's been lining up on the outside against defensive backs one-on-one, which I think is a great thing. But he may not be able to give you much in the way of run blocking, just like the other guys that we've been talking about so far. He needs some help there. And if he is going to be doing some blocking, pass blocking, he's going to put some weight on, because these edge rushers at the next level are going to bully him and push him around unless he has a very solid base and a little bit more weight to him.
So with him, he's not. I'm the full disclosure. He's not number 3 on my list. He's not even on my list. But I do like him. You know, he's got some physicality to him that you don't see from guys his size. And I mean, the guy does have the athleticism to play tight end, possibly in the league on that stage. Now, note, I still think we need to see more from him, but there's a lot to like about him. There's a whole lot to like about him. All right, so coming up next, it's my number 3 guy, and my number 3 guy is based all on potential. It's Jaleel Billingsley out of Alabama. And this guy's got all the tools. This guy's super athletic. He's got nice size. He got the build to actually be a blocker also. I think this guy's going to come out of nowhere, because now Bama's had how many weapons on this squad? And I mean, no wonder they haven't been able to showcase them. This isn't the time with OJ Howard where OJ's the guy you have to showcase. This guy, but I think this guy has all the tools. He may not be as athletic as OJ Howard, but he's pretty dang close. And I think he's going to prove to be a breakout guy this year, where Bama needs more guys to step up, because all those receivers are almost gone. You know, John Michie needs someone else to step up on the other side or somewhere around in the middle. And I think this guy's going to be one of those guys to do so.
Yeah, it's the opportunities. Alabama rolls deep. They have so much depth. They have so many weapons in offense. Recruiting powerhouse. You think you just got to wait until you crack the starting lineup. I mean, look at Brian Robinson, who's been backup running back for 2-3 years now, and he's going to get his opportunity to start. Yeah, we'll see what Billingsley brings to the table this year.
We will.
Yeah.
So your number 2 guy.
My number 2 guy is Jeremy Ruckert from Ohio State. I know you like him, and I'm going to guess that you have Ruckert number 1 on your list. I don't have him there, at least not yet. Now, what's to like about him? He is a smooth and athletic tight end who can be a great target. The key word there is can. What concerns me is head coach Ryan Day and his lack of involving the tight end in the passing game. And I really hope that changes this season, because it's hard to say whether Ruckert's receiving skills are good or great, basing it on such a small sample size of what he's been given the past couple of years. But what stands out about Ruckert is he is the best blocking tight end in this class, which is going to help him be a 3-down tight end at the next level. And if he can show more in the passing game, then he has a chance to be the first tight end off the board. But right now, his limited involvement in the passing game can't have the number one.
Now, with that said, I do like Ruckert. I think he's got some fantastic ability that's untapped because, like you said, Ryan Day, for whatever reason, doesn't like the tight end. And that's why he is also, yes, my number 2 guy.
What?
Unfortunately. I would love to put him higher. But I can't because we haven't seen this potential. But yes, I got my number 2 guy and my number 3 guy are all based on potential. Unfortunately, I think both these guys could possibly be studs for teams. I think their best football is ahead of them. Mm-hmm. I do like him as a blocker. So it's going to be fun. Hopefully they can show out, because that next offseason is going to be fun, because when he tests, and he will test
very well.
Nice, yeah. There are going to be some teams that will fall in love with that testing, especially the fact he can block. Some of these offensive coordinators are like, give me that athleticism, give me that blocking ability. I will find out if he has hands. I will duct tape that ball to him.
Yeah, you're thinking like 3 traits for a tight end. You're thinking athleticism, catching, blocking. He shows athleticism. He shows blocking. Is catching easier to fix, or is someone like Charlie or Trey McBride who can catch but doesn't block quite as well? Like, what's the easier thing to fix, blocking or catching?
But here's the thing. All right. Here's the thing. I think the hardest thing to find out is the athleticism. So that's the starting point. Does he have the athleticism to play? Then, if it's between the blocking and the catching, unless he's got stone hands, if it's just from opportunity, if he can block, put him in. Even if he's a high-end 2. He's a high-end 2 that can block. That means you have a pass catcher on the field for a deceptive situation in those moments where other teams have an offensive lineman that's not a pass catcher.
Yep. And folks, remember, this is our expert amateur opinion.
It is. Ain't that the truth? Now, for your number 1 guy, who we got?
Number 1. This was no question for me. It was Jalen Weidermeyer from Texas A&M. For me, he has it all. He has the size, he has the speed, he has the athleticism, and he can do it all too. He can create problems for the defense with his receiving ability, with his route running. He's a willing blocker both in line and down the field, which is a great thing for running back Isaiah Spiller, because he's going to help get some extra blocks down that field. I don't see a lot of negatives in this game, but if I'm being picky, and I can't be because I'm a fan, and we have a podcast, I can give my opinion. But if I'm being picky about Weidermeyer, I want to see him do a little bit more after the catch. Just a little bit more. But that's just me being picky. I like everything else about him.
All right, so I also have him at, I'm not going to pronounce that name, but I also have him at number 1. I already showed the people. And just to say, Kyle Pitts is not in this draft. But this is the closest thing to him. Just saying. This guy is that good in most drafts. He's going to be a hot top end guy. He's a first round pick, hands down. He's got athleticism, he's got size, and yeah, like you said, he's a willing blocker. I mean, there's not much else you want from a tight end.
Nope. And speaking of willing blockers, what's our next position?
Our next position that we're going to be going into is offensive line. Yes, we're coupling them together today because, like we said, it's crunch time.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the fourth quarter. Gotta make them plays.
Yeah, we do.
Mike McCarthy calls them the mojo moments.
Yeah, we got to make sure we hit Jared Cook on the sideline.
Anyways, just to jump into this one head first, knowing
Yes.
how comfortable you are with your list.
I'm comfortable, which is either I'm really confident and I feel good about it, or it's really foolish and I don't feel really well about it. So we're gonna find out. I know with our tackles here, we have some difference, some variance with tackles. Now this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna start out
number 12. We'll do number 5.
Number 5, yeah, small school, Northern Iowa, Trevor Penton.
To be honest, I don't know much about him.
No, you will. You will cheer if he continues to play like he did this past season. He's got size. He's got athleticism. His play would be more impressive, and he would appear to be more dominant if the level of competition was greater. But there's still a lot to like about him. Watching some highlights of him, he was literally shoving people down the field, across the field. Like, he wasn't stopping until they were out of bounds. That's the hustle I want to see in a tackle. I want to see him shoot up the draft boards. I think he can do that with another good, solid season.
All right, we'll see what happens. I mean, level of competition still does matter, in my opinion.
It does. It does.
Moving on to my guy, my number 5 guy. I don't know how to pronounce the name very well. I think it's Trey Munford from Ohio State. And this guy's a stud. I'm sorry, he is. This guy's got nice size. He's got great ability, and I mean, he's part of that dominant Ohio State offensive line. I know Wyatt Davis took a little step back, but this guy was legit.
I want to see that week 2 matchup between Ohio State and Oregon. I want to see Trey Munford go against Kevon Thibodeau.
It's gonna be fun.
That's the matchup I want to see. I want to see that one-on-one. I don't want to see chip help from the guard. I want to see chip help from the tight end. I want to see one-on-one Munford and Thibodeau. That's what I want to see the whole game.
You're kind of jumping the gun on the people there.
Our Edge series, which will be in next, 2 episodes from now?
Something like that.
So,
episodes.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll talk about some Edge.
All right, coming up, Sean's number 4 guy.
Number 4 guy is going to be Abraham Lucas from Washington State. Great size. He's 6'7", 319. He's got quickness. He's got athleticism. He does well with both pass protection and run blocking. This is a guy who could be a quality starter in the NFL for years. Which is, he's better than I think a lot of the offensive line prospects have come out of Mike Leach's program. So he stands out with Washington State.
Very nice. Very nice. My number 3 guy.
4?
Oh, 4 guys, sorry. Charles Cross, Mississippi State. Again, guy with very nice size. we're having a little bit of a trend here with the guys. He does need to pick some things up because, I mean, he's improved every year. His freshman year wasn't as great as it should be, but he's been gaining strength, and let's see if he has gained more strength because he does have the athleticism to be really fun. You're going to see a lot of pass blocking, considering who the coach is there, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's, speaking of the size, my number 3 guy is probably, I think he is the smallest of all the tackles in my top 5. So, and I had a little, am I going to include this guy in my interior offensive line group? Am I going to consider him the offensive tackle? It's going to be Kenyan Green from Texas A&M. Now, the past 2 seasons, he's been playing guard. True freshman started left guard, sophomore year moved over to right guard. This year, I think he's going to be Jimbo Fisher as a left tackle, and he moves so smoothly for at his size. And he's 6'4", 325, and he's the smallest of the tackles I got on my list. But what I like about him is he's a monster in the run game, which is going to be great for Isaiah Spiller as well. But he needs to improve a little bit in pass protection, and that doesn't mean that he's bad at pass protection. But if he wants to shoot past my top 2 guys, if he wants to be one second tackle off the board, he's got to step up his pass protection game just a little bit more.
So my number 3 guy is Rasheed Walker out of Penn State. And this dude is legit. Again, yes, I know I'm reusing my words. But Penn State had a top 15 offense in 2019. And 2020, he was still doing his thing, helping Penn State out, making that offense still run. Penn State still had a little bit of downtime, probably because the stud running back that they had that was supposed to take over had a serious condition that had him have to retire from football. But this guy's prime. Sean Clifford is not going to have to worry about anything on his left side. No one's getting past this dude. And there are matchups that we will find out. He plays in the Big Ten. Big Ten has some pass rushers. So, there's some outer conference play. There's going to be some fun stuff. Dude is 6'6", 312. So there's some athleticism there. He's a big boy, but he's not a super big boy. So I'm really enjoying what it's possible for what this guy can do.
All right, so my number 2 guy, I'm going back to my big 6'7" guys. Number 2 is going to be Jackson Kirkland from Washington. He started playing guard 2018, 2019, moved to left tackle during last year's shortened season, and he was impressive. But it was a small sample size. I think Washington only played 4 games last year, something small. They didn't play many games back, 10, 12, 16, however many teams they got now. But what stood out for him is I think he was one of the better pass protectors. But again, it comes back to a small sample size, right? Can he do that over a 12, 13 game season? So I need to see him perform at a high level across a full season at left tackle. And being 6'7", I need you to put on a little bit of weight, right? I think right now he's about 295. I need you to get 310. You got to put some muscle on there if you're gonna make it in the pros. You're gonna get run over, bullied if you're 6'7", under 300 pounds, playing left tackle. Got to put a little weight on.
So my number 2 guy is Zion Nelson at Miami. This guy took a little bit of different route to through college football. So he, unlike all the other guys that we've been talking about, was a 3-star recruit. Wasn't heavily recruited. When he got to Miami, he was only 240 pounds. Got up to 280. Now he's about 310, ready to take that massive leap. Still has that athletic ability, and all that mass that he put on is muscle. This kid is ready to take that next step and cement himself as the number 2 guy in this draft, because I'm sorry, the number 1 guy I think is cemented.
And I hope it's the same guy because so far we've talked about 8 different offensive tackles. We haven't had any that we've agreed on so far. Will we agree on number 1? I think we will. I'll go first. My number 1 guy, Evan Neal from Alabama. Athletic monster. 6'7", 360 pounds. His size, length, strength, that combination is pretty rare. The way he's able to move around at that size is incredible. I weigh more than 200 pounds less than he does. I can't even move that well. Started for Nick Saban at left guard as a true freshman, and for Alabama, Nick Saban, you don't see a lot of true freshmen start. But when they do, take notice of them because there's something special about them. Last year,
Think about who the last one was.
Who is that?
Think about who the last true freshman to start for Alabama was.
Surtain?
It was Patrick Surtain.
Yep, and look at him. Pick 6 in his preseason debut. But it's back to Evan Neal. He played right tackle last season because he had Alex Leatherwood on the left side. But Leatherwood got back to the first round for some reason by Las Vegas that early. Still don't know why. So now I'm thinking Evan Neal's going to slide over to the left side. He's going to protect Bryce Young. And he has the versatility that NFL teams will they'll love it. They'll love it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Alex Leatherwood again was starting on the left side, and Nick Saban values that experience. But Evan Neal, he's like above and beyond obvious the better prospect here. So he's going to be highly touted. This guy's going in the top 5. It's happening. I'm saying it. Unless there's some sort of catastrophe that happens where he has a Wyatt Davis type season, he's going in the top 5. I'm not even talking injury, because even with injury, he could still go in the top 5. I'm talking about a Wyatt Davis, Sean Wade type season.
Ooh, both Ohio States. Womp womp.
Yeah. All right. So, anything else to say about these guys, Sean?
These guys, I think the tight end class is going to be better than this previous tight end draft, because this previous class you had Kyle Pitts number 1, distant second was Pat Freiermuth, and then we really didn't take notice of the 3 through 5 guys. But I think this class is a little bit better, and I think this offensive tackle class could be better. I mean, last year he had was the clear number 1, even skipping a full season.
Well, we got to find out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So the tight end class, already I think it's deeper than last year. No, there's no Kyle Pitts, but I think it's deeper right now. If everybody came out right now, I think it's deeper. The tackle class could be really nice or could be really bad.
Could be, yeah.
We're going to have to find out.
Yep, they got to show us this year.
Next episode, though, I think it's going to be a lot better. Everybody values tackles more, but we're going with interior offensive linemen. And I kind of really like this class, I think.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. Words of wisdom for this segment.
Words of wisdom. What have I got this week? We're talking tight ends. We're talking tackles. Athleticism matters. Learn how to pass block. So if you're on the street, good blocking. NFL teams will know this. Don't worry. Just get a good block in.
I'm going to make a statement. Offensive linemen are not boring. Just that's the statement. Stop acting like they're boring. I get it. You like the skill players. But these are the guys that make it happen.
People like the stats. You can draft offensive linemen in fantasy football.
It is what it is. You don't have fantasy football without offensive linemen.
We should make a fantasy football league and create stats for the offensive linemen.
Pancakes.
Yeah, that's what we should do. There you go. You points for a pancake, negative points for holding.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sacks allowed. Yeah.
Pressures.
There we go. See, we can create our own scoring system.
In the age of wonder,